Fellow hobbyists, collectors, and prey heads alike, I am your host, Glennon Taylor, and now if you're new to this channel specifically, I want to welcome you to Predator Collectibles, where we take a look and review anything underneath the Predator franchise that you can take home as a collectible. Action figures, comic book statues, prop replicas is what we look at on this channel. And for the first video of June, what we're going to take a look at is a company known as Mezco. Now, most of you who are collectibles in general, whether it be Marvel, DC, and sci-fi, is that they have their popular line known as the 1/12 figure line, and they've been steadily gaining popularity, which I'm very glad to hear. But they've also done things like such as the Living Dead dolls, and one other product that they've done in the past are known as Mez-Itz. And they also did in fact have the Predator license, and Mez-Itz was in fact one of those products they had for a very long time. Unfortunately, they don't no longer have the Predator license at this current moment, but these particular product, or Mez-Itz as they're called, was back in 2003. Now to me personally, 2003 was more like 2 years ago as opposed to 16 years ago. Man, I'm getting old. But 16 years is a long time, and I think it's really interesting, and I figured for the start of month of June as a review, we would go ahead and review these particular Mez-Itz because they're 16 years of age. They are still readily available to be obtained in the third-party market. They are also very affordable, either between $20 to as low as perhaps $15. But I figured let's go ahead and look at all three figures, and you get two Jungle Hunters, one masked and unmasked, and then you also have the City Hunter, all three of which come with stands. So without further ado, let's get into this box. Now the box art itself I really do like, mainly because you have window treatment. It's in triangular in shape to house all three Predators, as well as the stands that they come with the Predator logo, Mezco logo on the bottom right hand corner. And what I also like is you'll notice each particular photograph is having each Predator on the side, two of the Jungle Hunters on one side, the City Hunter on the other. And it seems as though they've also gave this particular box a alien language or Predator glyph motif, which I really do like a lot. And this is specifically for ages 8 and up, with pretty much everything that I see here is pretty straightforward. But I really do like the alien language or Predator language they decided to put on this package. So nothing much pretty clear on this box, but I'd rather go ahead and look at the figures. The first one we're going to look at, of course, is the Jungle Hunter. And I really do like the simple design, and the sculpt on the bio helmet is very crude. And what I mean by crude, mean that it's very rough. There's not a lot of smooth edging, which I really do kind of like, because it does give it a much more interesting sculpt and character for the Jungle Hunter itself. The armor is also simplistic. These particular Mez-Itz remind me a lot of the Mini-Mates. However, the Mini-Mates have more articulation because there's more parts to them, but the Mez-Itz are a little bit bigger and their articulation is just as limited. So you only have, but of course, 5 or 4 different points of articulation. They do come with gauntlets, double-bladed gauntlets. The cannon does also have articulation to it as well, and I really do like also they come, each one of them, with a Predator 2 cutting disc. Now the stand that it comes with is a very cool, interesting details, because you have pretty much just a pile of bones and skulls from a recent kill. And I also really like this stand, mainly because with the sculpt of the skulls, as I mentioned before, just as much as with the Jungle Hunter masked Predator, the sculpt on these are pretty crude, so it definitely gives a very horrific type of feel, and I really do like that a lot, as the Predator should be a sci-fi / horror type of character. And these are, again, a very simple stand, hollowed backing, so it's very much a one-piece mold. But I really do like the paint on the skulls. I like how ugly and grotesque they look, so I think that's really awesome. And pretty much putting the Predator on the stand is very simple. There are 2 grooves where the feet goes, and simple as that. Now the City Hunter is a little bit much more better in detail because there's a lot much more intricate details to the City Hunter. The sculpt on the bio helmet does indicate this in fact is the City Hunter because of the mouth guard has a triangular shape. He also has the bronze gold finish, and I really do like how they were able to put all the dents and creases into the City Hunter's bio helmet. I really do like that a lot. Now each again character does have the same amount of armor as far as the gauntlet, the P2 disc, the cannon, bio helmet, things like that. So the only intricate details are going to be based on sculpt and paint. And with the City Hunter, you do get that beautiful stand, which is the same scene in Predator 2 where he's in the skyscraper scene. So the stand does have the two birds of stone, and I really do like the stand. It has everything as far as the stone look, stone paint, the cracks are there showing weathering and age, and I really do like how much I love the City Hunter. I think the City Hunter out of the two so far is by all times my favorite. Now the City Hunter does come with a spear, being since the City Hunter was the only one that came with the spear as an accessory along with this cutting disc. The next one up is the unmasked battle damage Predator or Jungle Hunter. And I'm going to focus a little bit much more on this one, mainly because of the fact there's way more in detail to the face sculpt and the paint on this particular battle damage unmasked Predator. So up close, as you can tell, it does have the green blood stains, and even looking at further, the green blood stains underneath that is the netting, and it would seem as though there is a brushed stroke or brush paint job to these figures, and I really do like that because it seems as though these were handmade and hand painted. So I really do like that quite a bit actually, because you can see all the brush strokes very up close along with the green blood. It's not just on the torso but also on his left leg, so I really do like that also. It does have the painted fingernails or toenails, and what I really like is his head sculpt. The unmasked Predator, like I said, with the crude detail, they really did put the ugly in the Predator, and I really like that a lot. They have the age of the teeth have the yellow paint scheme to them, and what also is cool per their sculpt, they did try to, as much as they could, put the quills on top of his head and painted those black, which I really do think is awesome. The dread beads, there was only I think 2 or 3 painted from what I'm seeing, but I really wish there was more bead intricate details in the dreads. But other than that, this is definitely a Predator that should be showing promise and pride on how ugly he really is. The eyes are painted a really good crisp color as well, so you can definitely tell that their eyes are there. I just really like the unmasked version. I think the City Hunter to me is probably better as far as the diorama stand piece, but the unmasked Predator does come with the trophy room. So you have 3 trophy or skull trophies from the spaceship, which is a Predator 2 ending scene. So you can take the City Hunter and switch them out between the other diorama to the bone trophy room. But I really do like this particular stand along with the unmasked Predator because of the amount of detail and ugly they put into this sculpt. And there you have the Mez-Itz. I really do like the Mez-Itz a lot. They're simplistic in detail, even though there was a lot of good things to come out for both sculpt and paint, and they do have articulation. They do, like I said, remind me a lot about the Mini-Mates, but when these were released in 2003, like I said, that's 16 years ago, Mezco did, during San Diego Comic-Con, release 3 translucent, clear Mez-Itz Predators, which you're looking at right now. These are the 3 that I have in my personal collection. So I have had these for quite a while along with the original ones. So these were only released during San Diego Comic-Con. I'm not quite sure exactly as to how many there are, but I do have the original and San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and I just really like Mezco as a company. I'm glad that they're still flourishing in their product line with 1/12 and Living Dead dolls, especially with horror-based fanatics and collectors. So with the Mez-Itz, again, they are still obtainable. All you have to do is simply go on eBay or perhaps even Amazon to get them. They're between 20, 25, depending upon the condition that they're in, or as low as 15 to 10 if they're in worse condition. But this one happens to be a little bit banged up, but again, it's 16 years old. So I just want to, again, thank you very much, guys, for sticking around. I hope you enjoy this review, so leave me a comment of what you think of the Mez-Itz based on how old they are and whether or not you're going to add them to your collection. And if you are in fact a Predator fan yourself, just as me, hit that subscribe button as well as the bell notification. I will be having yet another review next week, and until then, happy hunting.